My favorite part about the season is that even though we have all these familiar faces returning for revenge, there's room for more rivalries, new challengers, new storylines. I'm extremely happy to have met all these new teams. I think they're mad fun to be around, and I'm really happy I get to be the person to put a spotlight on them, because they all deserve it.
Team Sword later got dubbed the solo queue team. Just because they were like, well, these people are only really going to get coached for solo queue. We're not sure if they're even going to make the tournament, so they can just play solo queue and then potentially put them on Team Spear as they improve or not. Luckily, Team Sword pulled off the quick one to get in. Or I shouldn't say quick one. I guess it was more of a grind.
All the players on this team kind of brought the vibe, so like it wasn't really like a stressful environment. But also at the same time, it was clear that they were serious about winning, and I think anyone getting into any type of competitive situation obviously wants their whole team to care about winning.
That's going to be a stun coming out. This could very easily be first blood as that gets cleaned up, and Skarner
You can tell some of the like old friendships that were part of the FOF series before, so like that's at least exciting news to think about, just like all the friendships that are created throughout the organization, which is really cool.
Reviewing a lot of the other teams' games, coming into our games against them, in comparison to the new guard versus the old guard, I don't see anything that stands out in terms of like one team shows more experience when the other teams don't.
We've already got an engage right there as Ollie goes in on Wild was Wild. We got a knockback by the Hecker and push them all in. That is a huge knockup. That is a nice moment. This is absolutely perfect for FEC as they just managed to completely wreck face, wipe out the rest of Team Sword.
We think that they're really good, but we think they're pretty overrated.
From the scouting that I've done against both of their teams, actually, I mean, it's nothing really special. It's just going to be like any other team.
Take away Camel Bastille's fucking Vladimir, and all of a sudden, the team's not looking as strong as everyone thinks they are.
We prep for them. We see how we can execute against their weaknesses, and we get into the game and we win.
All right, folks, after that banger of a video, I feel like I've got to step up my game here. This is your friendly neighborhood shoutcaster Sharwig coming at you, and I've got Anti joining me today.
Hello, hello.
And how are you doing, my friend? How is RLS doing?
I'm doing great. RLS, we're probably running some subs this weekend because we got people out of town, but we're all having fun. We're all having a good time. And from what I understand today, the graphic, although it does show that Cam is playing in the jungle for Team Sword, we are having Elk Milk play jungle.
Ooh, that'll be exciting.
Mm-hmm. And we already know how explosive the games get when Elk Milk's in them.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. You're definitely not wrong with that. And we're already seeing Team Sword showing some great respect for Falcon Esports, banning out Camel Basil's Vladimir. I think out of all of the champs that we've seen Camel Basil play, that's probably the most terrifying.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we're seeing the same kind of respect from Falcon. They got told that Elkmuck was going to be playing, so they ban away the Kindred. Now, the Zed, I'm not sure how much Joby plays Zed, but Elkmuck's also been playing a lot of Zed jungle. I'm sorry, that is my fault. But we're just going to see the Shin Zhao being picked up right there.
Wait. Are you telling me you accidentally leaked information to Team Falcon?
No.
Do we have a spy?
No, not what I said. What I'm saying is, Elkmilk used to be a Zed jungle player. He stopped playing Zed for a bit. And I offhandedly said, oh, why'd you stop playing Zed? They just buffed him in the jungle. And he started spamming Zed in the jungle. And I was like, oh no. This was my fault.
Oh, gotcha. I see. Well, I do see a Xin Zhao already picked out. Elkmilk on a Xin Zhao is going to be terrifying anyway, just because that champion is so overtuned. I think they did a change to him recently as well. I think his E range got extended.
As long as you land the W, then you can E to anyone basically within the W range.
Yeah, which is absolutely massive. It's terrifying.
It's scary.
I was playing a game earlier and that happened. I was like, what is going on? Why is he still able to hit me? But now, we do have... Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Now, while Shin Zhao is an incredibly scary jungler in the hands of Elkmilk, Phase Rush Shin Zhao has also been very popular in Korean solo queue for top lane. So it could still technically be a flex pick. I'm not too sure about that, though.
That's absolutely right. It could very well be a flex pick, and with the pickup of the Varus and the Lulu, we kind of already know who the bot lane's going to be. It's not the Kog'Maw Lulu, which is just gross in and of itself. We do have Fang Over Fame's absolutely favorite champ Senna picked up on the side of FEC with a Tom Kench Volibear. Considering Volibear's jungle isn't the greatest, he's probably still going to go there because Tom is much more of a top laner now, not so much a support. And we do have the mid bans coming out right here with 3 of them right on the bat. 4 of them right off the bat.
Did the Tom Kench rework go through already?
Yes, the Tom Kench rework has gone through, so he's
he's
not able to carry people with his Dark Passage anymore, but he's able to use it as a way to get back to lane a little bit faster, get off his ganks. So he's moved out of the bot lane a little bit, and has kind of shifted his way towards top lane. It makes him a very interesting threat just because he does have such good roams. Like, he's always had those in general, but doing that has definitely made things really interesting. I like that we have a lot of late game scaling on the side of FEC. They expect this game to go a little bit longer than usual. You've got your front line, and they're pulling out a Veigar as well. With the Senna, you've got 2 major scalers, and then you've got the Sion on response. Based on the way these are coming up, what kind of are the last picks you want to see coming out of these 2 teams?
If I'm going to be honest, I don't know, because like from Team Sword, if you're going to go with something like this, I want to see like something with DPS in the mid lane, like Azir, I don't know, Corki, something along the lines of they can output the DPS. I don't know about the Kassadin. So one of the big things is, right, so Varus Lulu. Yes, Varus can go on hit. Varus against Senna, I don't think that he's ever going to be able to get in range. Once Senna hits 100 souls, this game is going to be very hard for Sword. Once she gets to 120 souls, this game is going to be unplayable.
I completely agree with you on that, and that is a really interesting last pickup on the side of FEC with the Lee Sin. I believe that's going to be a Lee Sin top, maybe.
I believe so. It could also be a volley top.
It could be a volley top. It could, yeah. So it's like, considering Volibear doesn't have quite a strong jungler, I like a lot of the flex picks. I like the responses coming out of Falcon. Team Sword, their comp is decent. They have a really good front line, and just with the hard engaged Xin Zhao is basically going to make it to where they have the pressure early game, pressure mid game, and then if Kassadin's allowed to get to late game, they've got their power late game. So they've got a really good all-rounded comp. I think I'm going to have to give it to them just because I feel like their utility is a little bit better this time around. But the front line on Falcon is going to give them a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I would give the edge to Falcon here just because the range discrepancy is so large between Sword and Falcon that Varus Lulu, if Varus doesn't go on hit, then the Lulu pick doesn't really change anything for him. But if the Varus does go on hit, it's going to be so hard for him to actually get these auto attacks off in these fights against these champions.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I say we just go ahead and hop on the Rift here, see how this plays out. This is going to get really exciting.
Either way, that's my boy Elk Milk. So
yeah, it is your boy. It is your boy. So tell me, what kind of other secret training has he been doing in the jungle besides Zed?
He's been doing things like asking me, hey, is Nasher's Tooth into Riftmaker good on Lulu? And I would say things like, no. I immediately have a response with, but why?
But why?
But
See,
why is it bad?
That's my favorite question, because I'm one of those guys who, because I main support, I will be like, okay, how can I make Zed's support work? What can I do to make this work? And how do and those things like that are always what I'm looking for. Yeah, you got the slow, you got the damage, so you're basically like a Pike, except you keep the gold instead of giving it to your ADC. You got the death mark, so you can dive under tower when your ADC is not following up, so you can basically ignore them.
Yeah. It's just like Jarvan.
Just like Jarvan. Oh, but except Jarvan's support, you got that Cataclysm. You got the Colosseum fight that you just start.
The difference is when Zed runs in with ulti, the entire team collapses on Zed, so it's kind of like a Cataclysm.
True. They do focus the Zed right away. All right, getting some nice trades off right away. Beshuop going for that early game poke, taking a little bit of damage in response, kind of wins that trade. Definitely goes in his favor. I think that this mid lane matchup is going to be kind of interesting, something we need to watch, though. Veigar versus Kassadin. That teleport from Kassadin basically negates Veigar's cage, so that's going to mean that they don't have to worry about it.
And at the same time, you know, we've got the Electrocute on the Veigar, we've got the Electrocute on the Kassadin. So both of these laners are looking to, like, do some damage in these lanes. Like, they're not just trying to farm up.
They definitely want to do damage, but there's no ignites. It's all TPs, which I think is really interesting. Look at that damage. The ignite does come down. It's not going to be enough, though, as the pot is going to get them back up to full health. That is Haps's ignite down. We still have the one available for Sword, though.
Yeah, and there's that range discrepancy coming back in, like that we were talking about. Oh, but Elk trying to make something happen.
Look at this. This early gank by Elk Milk. He's only level 3. He's having to walk up quite a bit. Personally, I just stick around in lane a little bit. Sure, you soak up a little bit of XP, but you're basically going to force Veigar out of lane, follow him into the jungle. Might work out in your favor, but he's just going to kind of hop on back.
Yeah, don't want to lose too much for staying for too long.
Yeah. What about this top lane matchup? The Sion versus Lee Sin. That's kind of an interesting one to me.
It's an interesting one. Sion, in general, in a majority of matchups, is just going to be unkillable. Shouldn't really end up in too much trouble.
Ooh, we got a nice trade right here. Look at that pay time, getting a lot of damage down.
Amazing apples.
Exactly. See, the thing I've noticed about Lee Sin is he has a lot of damage early game. He's really good at dueling. He likes to duel. I have a feeling we might be seeing... It's not going to be a dive, obviously, but we're going to be seeing a lot of hard engages coming out of this Lee Sin here shortly. Because he's not afraid to engage, lose the trade, and back with that TP. Look at this. Elk Milk coming in, looping around. Doesn't have a target. Doesn't manage to hit the E. He's not quite able to connect with it, so they are able to just walk away.
Alright, yeah, Sion's just gonna keep on farming up. Got a little bit low early, but just gonna keep on trucking.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep on trucking. Senna's got really good wave control right now. They are letting this push into their wave a lot. I do think that with the health that they have, they're probably looking for a freeze right about there, close to their... Allow for the Volibear gank to come in, which he is hovering right around Gromp.
Yeah, but with that large of a wave, it should bounce, so they can probably back pretty comfortably.
Hopefully. Right, let's see. Oh, actually, sorry, I take that back. I've been mixing up Xin Zhao's abilities. It's the Wind Becomes Lightning, his W, that had the range extended.
Yes,
and so
the E is the one that gets affected by W.
And the E is affected by that range. That's what I had mixed up. Either way, it was still terrifying what was happening.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. We have Amazing Apple has managed to force Paytime to back. Paytime's probably going to use his TP to... Oh, he's just probably going to walk 2 lane, probably save that TP for a dragon fight, which I'm expecting this Drake to go down here shortly. Xin Zhao and Volibear are both going to be looking towards top side. I think... I'm trying to see what exactly that volley is trying to do. Wild West Wild, not really able to make too much happen at the moment. This is probably one of the more calmer games we've had of Friend or Foe, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Now, that's unfortunately really problematic for Sword, because this lane is going to just get worse and worse as the game goes on, unless something major happens. Like, they cannot just sit here and let them farm up, because Senna's just going to get more range, going to get more damage, and it's just going to be harder and harder for Sword to play into this. I just don't really agree the Bears pick. Like, if it was Cog, if this was Jinx, farming like this would be totally acceptable.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really tricky. Look at this. We have the Volibear coming in right now. Oh. There is the kick that actually causes him to get out of the range of the lightning bolts. And that's going to be just a disengage on the side of FEC. A little bit of a misplay right there, I think. That Lee Sin ulti pushed Amazing Apple in slightly the wrong direction.
Yeah, like Apple, like Lee Sin got the ulti in, then the flash to try to position it properly, but Apple managed to flash right out just in time to reposition it, so... Nothing ventured, nothing lost.
Yeah,
Nothing gained.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have both TPs up still for FEC and for both Paytime and for Amazing Apple. That is going to be Blue Drake kind of taken during that whole gank. That was a good call on the side of Elk Milk, basically trading objective for that gank top lane. Rift Herald's going to be up here shortly as well, and once that's on the field, we're probably going to once again see these junglers pathing top, trying to make something happen there, exactly how we're seeing something happen right here in the mid lane. Elk Milk just kind of hovering off to the side.
And like in the jungle right now, this is turning into a bit of a farm fest, which is interesting. We've also got the Bombi Cinder on the Xin Zhao. Maybe
probably
into Frostfire?
Either into Frostfire or Sunfire. I think he's trying to go for a little bit more of a tanky build. Paytime taking a lot of damage right now, though. His Amazing Apple's able to get a lot of really good hits. Not a full charge Q, but it's not going to really matter as Paytime does get the Ignite off, and that is... Oh, sorry, not the Ignite. That's going to be the ulti out. My bad. I mixed up my animations there. Cage is dropped in the mid lane. Camel Basil trying to get some damage down onto Jovi, but isn't quite able to hit it. Does actually hit him with the Electrocute proc. We do have a teleport and a stun coming out from Volibear. Not quite. Teleporting away. That's the problem with ganking a Kassadin. It's just not gonna happen.
I mean, post 6 is so difficult.
And like you said, right now we're seeing the results of the snipe range from Beshiwap as he's just able to easily poke the side, poke into poor old Team Sword right there.
Yeah, and Senna Kench has just been like consistently a very strong bot lane, and like this is no different. Varus Lulu's a little bit more unconventional because of this reason. Like, they just don't have the range to deal with this.
Yeah, now one thing that is also an issue is poor Cam is just taking so much damage, and the thing is, if Haps is able to, he can actually just straight up eat him with the tongue.
God.
He doesn't. Yep, look at that, barely getting out with any health. So he doesn't actually, as long as he gets the 3 stacks, the tongue can actually swallow an enemy champion now. It doesn't matter, like, he doesn't have to be right on top of them. So that's a ranged eat that is going to be so
That's
devastating.
Terrifying.
Yeah. And he'll also shield his allies when he eats them up too. So if you ignite someone, they're actually going to survive it.
Why did they do this?
They wanted to give Tom Kench some more agency to do stuff on his own. Look at this. That was a great kick from Paytime as he forces the Elk Milk to jump away. In the meantime, we have Volibear jumping on top of this as well. Senna ulti coming from across the map. That is going to be Elk Milk taken down. First blood finally happening here at 9 minutes. We do have Paytime continuing this engage. We've got Wild Was Wild trying to get out. Camel Basil coming in to join the fight. Cage comes down. We have the teleports coming in from both mid laners now. Again, you've got the warping coming out from Jovi that just allows him to get around.
God.
Look at the health on the FEC right now. Camel Basil getting out by the skin of his teeth.
Wait, what?
Oh, in the midtown, we got a double kill going on in bot lane. Let's see how this happens.
I thought we were talking about this game not being bloody, but just like that.
Just like that. So Beshiwap takes a lot of damage from the Varus W. That corrupting passive of his does so much if he's allowed to proc it, and he's able to get it on both of them and just deals so much damage. And we have a solo kill up here in the top lane apparently, and the 2v1 takes down the Kassadin.
Interesting.
Apparently Lee Sin went down as well.
Just like that, this game goes from very non-bloody to, oh geez, that's...
Yep,
We're
look at this.
We're just
That
making up
is
for
a-
lost time, huh?
We're just making up for lost time. They basically like, oh, they heard that we were doing a quiet, calm game. We got to fix that really quickly. And we already have 6 kills on the board. We basically made up for it, where it's now been a kill a minute almost.
Yeah, that's that went from 0 kills to 6 kills over the course of like 1 minute, and it's like, oh boy. Oh boy. That was
Look
Oh my
at that.
God,
We have
mate.
the ulti coming out from Cam. Haps is too far away to actually give assistance. That is going to be the Lulu ult procking in order to keep them alive. Beshiwap in the meantime is taking so much damage from those Varus arrows. It's just not going to really matter. Cam does not get burped out under the tower, so he's not able to actually tank a tower shot. We do have Haps trying to get him. Tongue goes out, doesn't manage to connect. Haps is chasing this right here. It's kind of funny. Look at this. Look at all that damage. We got the shield coming out from Oli. Oli is actually keeping his ADC alive, and that is going to be Jovi coming in with the cleanup, but it's not gonna matter. Just Camel Basil comes in from the other side and gets the flank off. Jovi now running away. We have the teleport coming out from Paytime, and that's gonna basically be a fairly intense thing. But I think it's gonna continue because Elk Milk is making his way down bot too.
Oh my goodness. What a bloodbath.
That is just insane. This is not a calm game, like I was saying before. This has now become an absolute cluster, and it is getting ridiculous.
Oh boy. Yeah, and I understand Cam wanted to juke the Q.
Look at this. It's continuing. We've got Lee Sin 1v1ing this Scion right now. Paytime is like, you know what? I may have lost that other set of fights, but we're going to keep this going. Oh, that's a canceled auto from Amazing Apple. Paytime getting outside the queue.
Apples has 1 cloth armor.
Yeah,
Apples is taking no damage.
That is the power of Scion.
Oh, that's spooky.
Yep, and in the meantime, that is a second Drake down as the Ocean Drake goes over to the side of FEC. Paytime, again, continuing this fight with Amazing Apple. This is just absolutely devastating. That level difference is making a huge impact, but it looks like it's going in the favor of Paytime. He does get the assistance from the Senna ulti. Amazing Apple is just trying to put on the juke sticks. He's getting his shield up, getting a lot of damage out, but I think Paytime's going to win it. There it is. The slaps come out, and he gets taken down. Beshiwap ignited, taking a lot of damage, gets bursted down as Cam takes him out. And look at this. We've got another dive going on right here as Eltmo is basically hovering under tower. This bot lane is just getting beat around right now. And in the meantime, Camel Basil slayed Jovi. Somehow.
What?
All right, so let's take a look at how this plays out. All right, so it was in the top lane. We have the fight going on between Paytime and Amazing Apple. We already saw, so this fight was kind of interesting.
Yeah, Apples was doing quite well, and then all of a sudden Senna Ultimate comes in, and Apples is like, oh shoot, you know, come on, 1v1 me, bro. But Jovi's just gonna walk on in. Like, it wasn't a teleport, it was just a normal roam. Does he get Paytime? Okay,
he does get Paytime. The Scion passive does allow him the undeadness to get that. That is an ult and a stun for Jovi as he gets actually hit by the lightning bolt. Camel Basil with the good predictive cage keeping him from being able to run away, and the ulti coming out as well to finish him off.
Yeah, I like the pathing from Jovi because Jovi wanted to try to deny the assist to Camel Basil, but the Veigar ulti had already gone through, so... Oh?
Yeah. Oh, and we have the Tahm Kench Dark Passage trying to get in range to get that Varus, isn't quite able to.
From what I understand, that's on his W now and has a knockup on it or something like that?
It does. It has a small knockup on it. It's a lot faster channel time and all that. Look at this, him catching the wave so that Beshiwap can do whatever it is that he's doing while not losing too much farm, although he's just going to basically ignore the wave. Okay. Beshi?
Because Beshi's not the one farming in this lane.
Oh, that's true. It's technically a Tahm Kench ADC with a starving Senna. Fasting Senna.
Yeah, even though Kench did get changed around, Senna is still very good at facilitating other champions that usually don't go in the bot lane and just walk in, farm up, and get tanky, get items.
Exactly, and... just the way these two teams have been playing, it's been like they've been obviously scrapping back and forth, but they have a really good idea of where everyone is on the map. We haven't seen a lot of people who are caught out, just fights that are taken that are not necessarily opportune in what they want to be fighting. As I say that, Paytime right here is getting caught out. I'm a little bit wrong on that. Look at that nice adjustment from Elk Milk as he just is able to get in. Paytime is going to get taken down very quickly. And in the meantime, we have Wild as Wild trying to come in to assist, but it's not going to matter as Jovi's following him right behind. We have the rest of FEC following up as well. Cam and they are all up here. This is now a 5v4 top lane. They're basically going to pressure this top tower, take top tier 1. Sword has definitely got the pressure on FEC right now, but I think FEC's just going to be like, you know what? It's fine. We'll give up these towers. We're just going to push the late game and scale.
I mean, while FEC do have the late game, Sword are doing a great job with those rotations, you know, making sure that they can get whatever they can, because there's no objectives on the bot side for them to get at this point. So rotating their bot lane up to get the tower, Really good from them.
Yeah, and they've done a great, like, that Rift Herald play in the bot lane to get the bot tower. Really good. Jovi, in the meantime, I think he's looking for a solo kill. He wants to get himself some frog legs for dinner.
Oh, the Senna is going tank Senna. It took me a little bit too long to realize, but like, so the thing about tank Senna, right, is that she does do a considerable bit. Moving on, moving on, Apples.
She does do a considerable
She does do
bit.
a considerable bit. You'd want to make sure that you have DPS somewhere else, though, because tank Senna is not going to have the same kind of damage output that damage Senna is going to do. So now this goes from FEC easily have the late game to, yeah, FEC probably have the late game, but I could totally see Sword scrapping it out. I don't agree with the tank Senna pick here. I would have much preferred to see the Glacial Augments, Kraken Slayer, Senna.
Well, we do have the Stride Breaker, and we have Vagar probably going to be putting out most of the damage in this game. I think that's probably what their main objective is. But Lee Sin, you're right. He does fall off. He's not going to be as effective late game. It's going to be much more his utility. So I think the lack of damage Senna is going to hurt them in late game. I mean, just look at this right here. Paytime is already down to a third of his health, and he's only done maybe an eighth to Amazing Apple. Ooh, Elk Milk is caught inside a cage in a hard place, and we have Wild as well trying to go in, but gets knocked away by the ulti.
He's no fear.
Oh, that is no fear. We have the TP coming down. This fight is actually going to keep going. They are prepping for this Drake right here. That is a nice control ward by the side of Team Sword to make sure that they can have some vision of what's going on. They're basically going to hover around here. Elk Milk trying to look for that flank. He's going to get caught out. That is 2 stacks already from the Tom Kench on him. Then he's just going to get bursted down almost instantaneously. The lightning bolts coming down from Bolívar as well. Look at this Senna ult. That is a great amount right there. Camel Basil on the backline, though, getting caught out. We do have a nice bit of damage coming out as we have a flash from Jovi going over the wall to survive the Wild West Wild. In the meantime, we have the fight going on in the top lane. Paytime is able to take down Varus, and we have Haps and chasing down Ollie. Wild West Wild jumping right on top of the poor little Lulu. There's just no stopping him. He doesn't get the stun up. He does try to chomp onto the Jovi. Jovi is... I love these jumping over the walls. This is such a mobile game. They are able to pull out the win. Amazing Apple has to just back off, and this is going to be a free Mountain Drake. Hard-won Mountain Drake for FEC.
And like nearly an ace for FEC there, but basically, so Elk Milk started off the fight. He got cut out. It happens. Apple's got a phenomenal ulti onto the backline. And a 4-man knockup directly on top of that. But
look at the shred still coming out from Beshi. It's not drastic, but there's definitely a lot of damage coming out from him. They're going to just basically be chasing this. There's nowhere for this Scion to go. He's going to get caught out, going to get taken down. Beshi picking himself up a kill, getting himself a soul. And now you just have the survive the Scion passive who's trying to take you out. And this is going to be a Rift Herald over to FEC. They've already started taking objectives away from Team Sword.
What I was going to say is basically, so Scion got a great 4-man knockup. Cam, unfortunately, stepped up a little too far forward, didn't respect the Lee Sin with Stridebreaker. And just kind of got jumped on. But if Sword get another one of those kinds of engages, as long as Cam can keep autoing from a safe distance, this game is very much winnable for Sword.
Look
and
at Joey jumping over the wall. Half health in Camel Basil. Camel can't do anything. He's trying to run away, but the tower is going to provide no protection for him as he just gets taken down.
Oh boy, the clock is ticking. Level 12. We have 4 levels to go. And in 4 levels, Jovi will be able to take over this game.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, where you have Team Swords casted in. That's going to be the big threat that FEC has to worry about. And, you know, we're talking about them building tank Senna and tank Tom Kench. You've got a little bit more of a tanky Volibear, but they're building a armor. They're not building MR, and that's going to hurt them so much in the game. Habs getting caught out right there, rooted in place. Polymorph, there's nowhere for him to go. He tries to pop the shield. It's not going to matter. His Zinjaz shuts him down, and that is going to be an extra 450 gold over to Elk Milk.
All right, and Elk Milk just gonna keep on. He's gonna enjoy that gold. He's just gonna keep on tanking up. And it is the Frostfire, so we're seeing Frostfire. Oh,
Paytime going in, getting a knockback on Jovi, just kind of pushing out away under tower. I've been a little bit sus on some of those. So those Dragon Rages just haven't quite connected the way that we want them to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, poor Eltmilk getting caught out. That is a great use of the ulti, preventing all of that damage from going through, even if it had hit. We got Sion ult again from the sideline, trying to get off a stun. Doesn't actually happen as they get locked into the Vagar cage. That was a beautiful cage by Camel Basil. Camel Basil takes down Eltmilk. This is FEC coming back into this. They are forcing this fight. They're basically like, you want to fight? Fine, we're going to take you down. Look at the damage from the Volibear as he jumps on top of him. Wild as wild, putting in the work. Amazing Apple's now caught in the cages. They just basically ignore the Scion. And it's poor Camel Basil now getting whapped in the back, but it's not going to matter. This is going to be mid-tier 1 tower taken down, and Sword just has to back off.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Sword had a lot of gold in their pockets there, just caught slacking, and they just haven't been able to spend it yet. Meanwhile, FEC, coming back from base, they hit their item power spikes, and it's going to be hard for them to fight. If you're effectively down in gold already.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they are so down in gold. It's already a 2k gold difference, and unfortunately that 2k gold difference is a little bit more pronounced for their comp, just with the way things are playing out. FEC has done a fantastic job keeping that Volibear alive. He's had some great Stormbringers where he's just getting that maximum amount of passive health that he can, which allows him to tank basically everything like the same amount as the Scion. And I really see like this game is slipping through Team Sword's fingers.
Yeah, at the same time, the on-hit Varus is going to scale up in terms of damage. It's just a question as to whether or not the positioning is going to be on point. Scion is going to get to the point where it's very hard to kill. Because like right now, Scion still very hard to kill. Still 0 MR items outside of what's already on Frostfire Gauntlet. And if they can, if they can get a pick to start these fights off, instead of just a straight out front to back 5v5, I think Sword absolutely can still take this.
They still have a way into this game. I think that Kassadin's going to be their key player. So if you look at the way that they're built, they have essentially the Xin Zhao and the Kassadin who are able to just kind of hop onto a single target, get rid of it so that it's not going to be a problem anymore. Their most likely targets are going to be Camel Basil and Beshiwap, because those are the two main damage dealers. However, once the fights actually start really kicking off into that front to back 5v5, like you said, then that's where they're going to end up losing. Because like you said, positioning is important, but it also matters whether or not the Varus can actually hit them with his range. The full charged Q will work just fine, but he's not going AP Varus, so that's not going to be where his main damage output is. Look at this. Jovi is now chasing down Camel Basil, just kind of jumping on him, trying to get him, but it's not going to matter as the Blast Cone comes out. This is going to be an... They're going to zone them off of this fight. And we do have a TP coming in, though, so this is going to get pretty exciting. We have the Tom Kench Dark Passage coming in as well. Look at this. We got the side flank. That was a good set of ulti, keeping his teammates alive. Nice knock-up as well. Xin Zhao is avoiding a lot of damage, though, because he's inside of his ultimate, and it's not going to really matter. Camel Basil on the back line, just trying to run away. We've got a Volibear jumping over the wall with the Stormbringer, trying to get onto Eltmilk. Eltmilk just can't find his target, though, as the rest of FEC completely survives and just shreds through Team Sword's front line. We got poor little Lulu down the bot lane getting caught out, and this is just going to be a cleanup as Amazing Apple gets taken down as well.
Yeah, and it's just so unfortunate because Team Sword, they're getting really good engages onto the enemy backline, but nobody is in a position to peel for Cam, and Cam just isn't able to get those auto attacks off. So if you're planning on running this Varus, you have to play in a way that Varus can actually get this damage off, which is why I was thinking that, someone like Jinx or Cog, someone with more range who can auto attack when your entire team's on the back line would be more effective. But it's just so hard to get these attacks in as Varus here.
Yeah, exactly. He has to get in so close just to have a chance, and it just puts him in such a dangerous spot that once his team starts diving that backline, he's completely separated, and then the fight just starts splitting up into two clusters where one side's chasing the Varus and his posse, and the backliners are basically running from whatever jumped on them. So with that, I think what we need to see Sword do is they need to be looking into these side lanes, look for those picks whenever the Lee Sin goes to push, because they still haven't taken top tower, and they gotta get some of that gold that is on these bounties onto them. I don't know if they're gonna ever actually take down the Volibear though.
Yeah, I don't know if Volibear is killable until like maybe the end of the game at that point. I think that Jovi just needs to continue getting in a lead through side laning. She's already 2 levels down. Jovi just needs to hit 16, just needs to get gold. They've been sitting on tier for a while. It's already been at 360 stacks. And Seraph's is not an insignificant amount of AP. Now, yes, Senna will get stronger as the game goes on, but we already know it's Tank Senna. Tank Senna isn't necessarily going to get all that much stronger.
We have the ult now coming in as we have Amazing Apple trying to come in on the side lane. That is the pop spell shield. We've got Vagar caught out. That is him taken down. Unfortunately, Ollie's the one who picks up the kill and gets that shutdown gold.
Unfortunate, but, that's one of their Barons. That's a strong pick. And Sword are trying to claw their way back in. It's a 6k gold diff, but, it's still not completely unwinnable.
Wild West Wild running towards the Elk Milk now. That is a ult coming out as he just forces the Volibear away. Just trying to get that safeguard zone. He's been using that ultimate so much more defensively. And it's like, that Crescent Guard is just... It's so much more useful if he could jump onto the back line and disrupt the team and basically separate everyone from his target, rather than having to keep himself alive.
Yeah, and
he just hasn't had those opportunities.
Yeah, one of the things here is that the build is rather fragmented from Elk Milk. Elk Milk and Jovi are both on very awkward points in their build paths, where they have multiple items that they want to get, but they're just sitting on multiple different components. So once those are finished, then we're gonna see the power of those item spikes coming in. But for now, it's just gonna be pretty awkward.
That spell shield is already back for Camel Basil. That thing just comes back so much faster than it used to. And I think they already know that there's somebody hiding over there. I don't know if they're gonna go hunting for it. Lulu's looking to hunt for that ward.
And Joey, hitting 14, just cashing back up to Camel Basil in terms of levels.
He was able to use that catch-up XP to get himself back up.
Yeah. And as long as they continue to farm those side lanes, they can do quite a bit. They just need to get those items. They need to get to those power spikes. And the Zonya's picked up for Jovi, so they can just go right into the back line. Apple's walking up a bit.
Yep, Apples is walking right up to this tower. He's basically not afraid of it at this point. I feel like he could easily dive this, and they could either take the tower down or get the kill before he's in any real danger. If it was just Paytime alone, but they don't realize that Camel Basil and Haps are both in the side lane. They're ready for this. They were waiting for that gank, but that's a lot of damage coming out early on. The Senna shield is coming out, though, so that's going to be them alive. Look at that knockup. That was a beautiful cue from Amazing Apple. Wild West Wild, in the meantime, jumps onto the back line. He gets polymorphed, though, and a lot of his damage gets negated. Comes over the wall. There's the Stormbreaker as Haps takes down Elk Milk. We got the Senna doing the work, putting out the damage, getting a lot of hits in. Lightning bolts come down as Wild West Wild picks up the kill. And this is just Amazing Apple, tank versus tank, but one has way more health than the other.
Yeah, but at the same time, Cam got to auto so much in that fight that what should have been an easily won fight for Falcon Esports, where we saw, a clean 5-0 before, turns into a 4-4. And Apple's just going to TP right back in here.
Yep, TP right back in. He's going to try and stop this dragon, or at least delay it, most likely so the rest of his team can arrive. I don't think he's actually going to be able to beat this, because we do have Smite available for Wild as Wild. You're basically just trying to anticipate the Smite coming down, but it's not going to be quite able to take it away. We have the TP coming out from Paytime to basically turn this fight now into a chase. Look at that. Got the stun coming out, got the stride breaker coming out. There's nowhere for Amazing Apple to go. He's basically just kind of choking out right now. We do have the rest
so tanky.
Exactly. He's able to survive long enough for the rest of Team Sword to arrive. Look at this. He's almost back to full health. Got so much damage coming out right now from the side of Team Sword.
Oh my
They are
God.
actually able to pick this up. They're getting picks off. That was a good Veigar cage, stopping a lot of the team. We have Haps jumping in on the backline, though, but he is a little caught out. Beshiwap is getting a lot of free damage, though.
Oh my
that
God.
was a 3-man stun. Senna ultimate coming down, shielding the rest of the team, so it doesn't really matter. Gets a lot of damage off as well. Paytime getting a shield in right there. We've got Amazing Apple taken down. Passive is out, and that was a complete turnaround as FEC wins that fight.
Man, and that fight was looking so good for Sword until Camel Basil with the humongous 3-man stun. Like, that was ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
I
that-
cannot believe that they actually managed to get it like that.
That is the power of Veigar when you fight him in a jungle at a choke point.
Yeah,
You don't
especially
do
with
that.
Mountain Rift here. Yeah, especially
exactly.
because of Mountain Rift.
Yeah, like they have a lot. Well, so they have a lot of resistances on the side of FEC, but I mean more of the sense of with that cage, most of Team Sword was forced into that position. In order for them to actually try and move up, they had to move into the choke point, and which just made an easy spot for Veigar to drop his cage. The fact that he was able to drop it on 3 of them instantaneously was beautiful. It was going to basically trap them all in that fight, though, and it had already turned around.
We're just getting some vision down.
We got the fight yet continuing as Paytime just completely blows
Oh, boy.
up. We have Ollie getting blown up as well. Shutdown going over as Varus gets taken down. Look at this. That is going to be an easy Baron pickup. I was kind of lost as to just how much damage was coming out.
Yeah.
I think it may have just been the Veigar R just on his target that just popped them. I don't think he did anything else.
I mean, maybe the W. Who knows? Like, at this point, Camel Basil's doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Jovi's
let's see how
still
many,
not level 16.
how many stacks does he have?
Yeah, how many stacks does Camel Basil have right now?
Let's see. Oh, so we've got Beshiwap has 145. Yeah, so they've got a lot of souls on Beshi right now. That's a lot of stacks. But I'm wondering how much dark matter the Veigar has. Let's see. So Beshi is currently
260.
sitting on 264. That is a nice bit of dark matter that he's got sitting in his pool.
Jovi?
We got poor Jovi getting caught out. I don't know exactly what he was doing right there. I think he might have been going for blue buff and just 3 members of FEC found him.
I think he was just pushing bot lane with no vision.
Yes, that will be the bane of your existence right now. You can't be making that kind of mistake, especially if the enemy team has Baron, because that is an easy recall for them.
Jovi does have the Seraphs now. Camel Basil has, like, what, 600 AP, but that's before Seraphs, before Death Cap, and it's just going to get scarier and scarier from here. And Beshi, we already saw, has like 140 souls. If this were damage Senna, the game would be over already. And I think the only person they can get picks on now is Camel Basil, because this is Tank Senna. That's the trade-off.
I mean, it's Tank Senna. Wild is so tanky. Just look at this. Look at the amount of health that is available to FEC. Every single one of these champions has at least 3k health, except for Veigar. And if anyone's jumping on the Veigar, you've already lost the fight.
Yeah.
Amazing Apple is just lumbering away. He's trying to escape. It's just taking him so long to get anywhere. This would provide a complete an opportunity for the rest of his team to show up if the rest of his team wasn't already in a fight bot side. And that's going to be Camel Basil going on a killing spree. Wild got taken super low, and that is a shutdown going over to Ollie. This Lulu once again has taken that shutdown gold that Varus is desperate for.
Oh boy.
Look at this in the side lane. We do have a TP as
And we're
Paytime is
starting
coming
to
around.
re-engage.
He's looking for Cam. He knows he's right there. He just jumps right in. Ward hops right over him though. Isn't quite able to hit him.
Oh, gonna
Cam
take the
does
Q.
get taken down as he gets knocked away, hit by that Q. Look at this. In the back line, we have poor Elk Milk just getting absolutely shredded. Ollie is running away, trying to escape, trying to stay alive. Just leave the poor Lulu alone. But Paytime is like, nah, I'm taking you out.
Oh, just like that. Like they took so long to kill the Volibear, that the TP re-engage from Falcon just absolutely demolished them.
No, it is absolutely ridiculous how much damage has been coming out right now. I honestly think even though FEC has gotten mostly tank, there's nothing Team Sword can do at the moment. They don't have the damage. Jovi is not able to shred the targets he needs to shred because he's not able to burst them down instantaneously. And they've just been taking these fights so split, but they can't win the 5v5 anyway.
Yeah, and also, crucially, nobody on Sword, with the exception of Apples, has healing reduction. And into Senna, especially in these really long-winded tanky fights, it's so difficult for any damage to be meaningful when Senna's just going to heal everyone back up.
You need healing reduction. You also need Serpent's Fang just so you can get rid of those shields, because look at that. They've got the Mountain Soul, so now everyone's got a passive shield. So that's just one extra layer of tank that you have to shred through. And it's going to be so tough for Sword to make anything happen, but it looks like they're still trying anyway. They're diving in on this. Wild is putting in the work. Beshuwap getting the shield out as that Senna ultimate comes down. Does a lot of effort for him. Look at that. Wild is still alive. This whole fight is still going. That is the primordial burst coming out as Veigar picks up a kill. Amazing Apple does manage to take Wild down. Veigar Cage comes out and traps in the Varus. The Varus just gets bursted down. Dark Matter coming out and just completely shredding him. Amazing Apple is trying to stay alive, but he's not the damage source. Ollie is getting jumped on. He polymorphed the target. The least
right
in those
tower.
chicken went down. Right under tower, but they don't really care. Haps is just able to soak it all up. We've got the channel coming out. Camel Basil is now dominating. Paytime in the meantime is tanking the Nexus turrets for this Lulu.
Jeez.
That could very well be game. With these death timers, it's going to be a lot of work for Team Sword to actually be able to do anything. And I think, honestly, FEC is healthy enough, they could just end the game right here.
And, like, that Mountain Soul makes this so difficult. But, you know, Sword, they saw that they had to take something, went for the final fight, and Falcon just going to close us out.
Falcon is going for the close. That is a Veigar Cage onto Jovi, who's just like, oh, wait, hold on, I don't want this. Do not want... We got Cam in the Falcon, gets bursted down, taken out. The primordial burst is just too much. The Nexus is wide open and getting completely decimated, and that is FEC securing the win.
Yeah, and, you know, well played from FEC. Like, they had a really solid draft. They knew that they had to play for scaling. They ended up getting some early kills, so that way their scaling, you know, became easier to do. And unfortunately for Sword, they had so much going for them, but it's so hard for a champion like Varus to get in on that kind of a team comp. I feel like, because, you know, they picked Varus and Lulu at the same time, I feel like if it was COD Lulu, maybe would have seen more success. Maybe Jinx Lulu, you know, there's a lot that was up. And I don't feel like the Varus priority was necessarily the play there.
Yeah, and you know, you were talking about Tank Senna not putting out a lot of damage. Who do we have dealing the most damage on the side of Falcon? It looks like it's Tank Senna. So right there, you're absolutely right. We look at the healing as well. That is a whole bunch of healing. And one of the things you're, again, completely right. This game was decided by that bot lane. The Senna versus Varus difference made a huge impact. However, we cannot discount just how powerful the Veigar became, the amount of roams that were available from Wild West Wild, Paytime handling that Scion in the top lane. It just eventually, just the whole thing drifted over to Falcon Esports just as the whole game progressed. All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with an interview, so stick around.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here for the first interview of the day. I am joined by Paytime from the victorious Falcons Esports. How you feeling?
Pretty good. It's good to get a dub after the tragic loss yesterday.
R.I.P. in peace, my channel points. So let's talk a little bit about the draft plan coming into this game. You guys break out the shouts out to Fang, Fasting Senna, and also spice it up with the Baby Cage Vager, and you also break out the Lee Sin Top. Talk to me about this draft that you put together.
I just think that it was right away. It was a good draft for Senna when they picked Zin. That's kind of the extent I'm gonna say to that. We felt like once he picked that, we were in a pretty good spot to just play Fasting Senna, so it was whatever. In general, we just felt like yesterday against UB, we didn't really have a cohesive draft. So today we came in a lot stronger, making sure that we prepped, and we felt like we had a really strong draft going into the game.
Now, you did draft this Lee Sin Top, which is not a troll pick. It is the Season 11 new meta. Thank you, Riot. So we have Lee Sin in the top lane. What is your experience with this champion? Have you had any experience on this champion before in past seasons? Have you played in jungle perhaps in seasons past? What do you know about this champion? Because you did pretty well on breaking out a few light insects here and there throughout the game.
Yeah, I'm actually super rusty on the champion. I main jungle for a couple seasons and played a whole lot of Lee Sin when the Lee Sin Elise Jarvan meta was pretty prevalent. So it was kind of a comfort pick, but obviously I messed up some insects. I felt pretty confident coming into it, pretty strong against tanks where he can just free farm. Thought it would be a really fun pick, and thought that I would be able to have an opportunity to make plays. Kind of going back again to yesterday's game, I felt like I put myself in a position where I was restricted to peeling more than anything, and that's not what this team needs today. Again, going back into how good we felt about the draft, we had a lot of playmaking, we have a lot of setup, and even though our champions need time to scale to do damage, we team fight really well together, and we were able to overcome some of those earlier weaknesses through playmaking.
All right. Well, talk to me a little bit about how you felt this game overall played out. I mean, from my point of view, watching the game, it was a lot of the things that you touched on already. Able to abuse the scaling aspect of it. Also, from my point of view, I'm a Lulu aficionado in the bot lane. But this Varus Lulu combination just I think is very constricting as a playstyle. It's just not the matchup or the pairing that I would put together in today's meta. So what did you think about how this game developed?
Well, me personally, I thought their draft was actually pretty fine. I really liked that they were able to take the Cassidy later into the draft. We saw that he played it quite a bit in seasons past because he had level 7 on it, and the way they rounded out their comp was they set up a really strong front line that could be augmented by Lulu, and they had a lot of tools to basically set up Varus for success. We obviously we were able to draft around that and find our way in to be successful. But I thought the Varus Lulu was fine. They could have played better without getting too deep into trash talk or whatever, and that was very clear. They had a little bit of a timer because obviously Senna can build up her stacks, but I think it was a pretty good draft from both sides coming into it. It's just our team executed better. Proud of my guys for that.
For sure. Well, certainly well executed game on your part. Now, I do want to take a look a little broader at the league and ask you how you feel you match up against the other top lane talent in the league.
Being quite frank, no one else matters but Freelancer. I had to come back and make up for yesterday's game. I feel like I put myself in a terrible position and I couldn't do what I needed to do to carry the team. So really my eyes are on him. Everyone else is pretty alright.
I like how just a second ago you're like, oh, I don't want to trash talk too much or anything, and you're out here just being like, yeah, no one else matters but this dude. Respect though, respect. You gotta make sure they know that they're beneath you and where they rank up. So, Paytime, thank you so much for joining us for this interview. Do you have any final words before we step away?
I'm coming for you, freelancer. No, I'm kidding. Just like shout out to my team. Really good bounce back game. I think it's really important for all teams to kind of like take losses in stride, learn from them, especially when you're on streaks. You start to lose sight of where you can improve and how you can continue to grow as a team. But today we bounced back after a pretty bad loss to UB. And yeah, I'm just proud of my guys. Hope we can continue to deliver and grow and meet UB in the finals.
Right on. Way to bounce back from the mental boom and pick up the win today. Paytime, thanks so much for joining us. But folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Game 2 coming up.